Find a nice, comfortable way to sit. Maybe take the flesh out from the sit bones. Just notice. Take the shoulders, roll them back, and let them come down. I'm just gonna adjust that screen for a minute. I kept hitting the computer today. There we go. And as you sit, you've moved the flesh out from the sit bones. Maybe you're up on a blanket or a pillow, especially if your knees are kind of way up here, if your hip flexors are tight. Maybe you sit up on something to ease the strain in your hips and in the groin. And then take the shoulders up to your ears. And roll it back. And let them come down. Good. And again, inhale, reach up. Squeeze them back. And let them come down. And then just rest the arms, right? Your hands are anywhere on your lap, on your thighs. Let the elbows be heavy at your sides. A lot of times I'll see students, they're holding onto their knees and they look really strained through the shoulders and the arms. And rather than do that, maybe just let the elbows stay at the side body so they hang right down by the hips, and let your hands be where they naturally would land for you. And then close the eyes. Start to tap into the breath. We always take a few moments to get centered on our mats, right? We take a few moments to let go of whatever else has been happening or will happen, the past, the future. We try to tap into the present moment as we breathe, as we feel the air moving in through the nostrils or the mouth, whatever is most appropriate for you, ideally through the nose. We feel the temperature of the air. We feel it move up through the nose. We vision it going through the lungs out into the body. Maybe we notice the difference in the temperature as we exhale. And as we sit, we pay attention to our spines, to our alignments. So if the shoulders are rolling forward, maybe we can draw them back to the side body. If we notice we're rounding in our lower backs, maybe we can draw the pelvis forward, a little anterior tilt, or come up on blankets. And see if you can feel the head centered. Moving that whole spine from the base of the skull all the way down to the tailbone, all those wonderful natural curves. Coming back to the breath. The breath will always bring us back to center. It will give us information. As we pay attention to our breathing, we calm the nervous system. We observe our thoughts. We feed our bodies and we acknowledge being alive, really. As we breathe, we know we are alive. We have one more very focused breath here. And then open your eyes. Let your hands come down to your sides. Inhale, halfway up, arms halfway up, palms are down, turn the palms up. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, right to your heart. Good, and again, inhale. Turn the palms up, reach up, maybe touch those fingers. Exhale it down. 3 more. And exhale. And 4. Exhaling. And last one. And exhale, let those hands come to your heart. Interlace the hands, press them out, reach up. And then notice, right, at what point does the low ribs start to, or do the low ribs start to move forward as the arms come up? It's a really interesting thing if you start to explore. So just take the hands down to your lap, still interlaced if that's okay for you. Take them up, still ribs are neutral. Ribs are neutral. At what point do you start to have to lift through the chest to raise those arms? No pain here. If you're working with shoulder stuff, please separate those hands. Good. Go a few more times right here. Exhaling as the hands come down. Inhaling as you reach up. One more. Exhale. And then inhale, reach up. Hold it right here. Find the first point at which the ribs come forward, right? That the shoulder blades draw down and in, the lower ribs come forward. Find that first spot. And then feel the belly tuck in. And notice the little change in the lower back. So I go from kind of an arched, a little bit more of an arch in the back, to tucking the belly in and lengthening the tailbone to a more neutral spine. Good. One more time. Lower it down. Inhale it up. Find the first one. I'm not looking for a big back bend here. Just right at that spot for you, depending on your shoulders. And then feel the chest lift. Feel the belly tone in. Feel the tailbone get long. You're going to hear that kind of all through class today. And then exhale, let those hands go in, shake them out. Ooh, that can be hard on the fingers when we're interlaced for that long. And then take your left hand to the mat. I'm not going to mirror here, so forgive me. Roll the left shoulder back. Take the right arm up to the sky. Notice the head, the neck, right? Keep it in alignment. Notice if the right side shoulders wants to roll forward. If it does, try to keep it at your side body and then reach the fingers up to the ceiling. Soften the left elbow as you come into a side stretch. And inhale, reach up. Take your left arm up. Let the right hand come down. Softness through the shoulder. Elbow reach up with the fingertips. And then stretch. And breathe. And inhale, up, take the fingers, the other arm up, let the left hand come down, go again. Stretch it out. Notice if the shoulder wants to round, see if you can keep it up. I'm on my elbow on this side, but you might not be. And you'll notice on my other side, I can't get down to my elbow without overstretching or without lifting that hip. Good, take it up, bring the other arm up, switch sides, right hand down, left arm reaches. As we stretch it out, as we start to open up our bodies, take a really deep breath. And then inhale, both arms up. Cactus arms, everybody. Don't squeeze the elbows back, but engage the back body as if you were pressing the arms into a wall. And twist to your left. Hold the arms here if you can. Let your right hand come to the knee. Let your left hand come behind. Nice, easy twist to start. And glance over your left shoulder, but then glance over your right, taking some of the tension out of your neck. Take it back over the left side and back over the right. And back to the left. Soften the tension in your neck. As you inhale, take the arms up, cactus arms, and over to the right. Hold it here for a moment and then let the hands come down. Your left hand to the right knee, right thigh, your right arm behind you. And same thing with the neck, looking over left shoulder, and then back over the right, over the left, and back over the right. One more time, looking over, and back to the right. And then ease up on that cervical spine. Take the arms up, reach up. Exhale, elbows to your side body. Squeeze it back, and then inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze down. 3 more. Inhale, up and down. And breathe up and down. Good, last one. And down, and then reach forward. Just warming up upper body. Squeeze it back, and then reach as far as if you're pulling something back behind you. And forward. Squeeze back. 2 more. And exhale. Good. Last one. Squeeze it back and then shake it out. Shake it out. And then straighten up those legs. And breathe. And then just set your hands behind, not so that you're slouching, okay? So stay lifted, shoulders back. You're just supporting it. And I want you to point and flex both feet. Just point them and flex them. And then alternate. So stepping on opposite gas pedals or gas and brake pedals. Stretch out the ankles. Oh, and then turn the feet out to the side. So big external rotation of the legs. See if you can get your pinky toes down toward the floor. Do not force it. Good, and then bring the feet to neutral. Take your feet wide and see how far you'll go internally rotated, right? Some of you, most of us are not gonna go nearly as far there. So breathe, good, and drop them down to the floor, pinky side, and turn them in, internal, external rotation. Good, and then relax, legs are together. Bring the ankles, feet, knees together. If your legs will do that, find Dandasana. And breathe. So, here again, as the chest lifts, the lower back might overarch. So I want you to find neutral. If you take one hand behind to your low back, one hand to your chest, drop your lower back into your hand. You're going to feel this arch, the spine coming out. You're going to feel you're dumping right into that lower back. And then take the back hand and press it into your back as you lift your chest. If this is really difficult because this pose, this Dandasana pose is really challenging, I want you to bend your knees and put your heels on the floor. In fact, maybe everybody go ahead and do that. So we'll take some of the strain out of the hamstrings and then just kind of drop into your lower back. You're curling in. What does this feel like, right? It should feel like cat pose. And then lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Good. One more time. Drop it down. And lift it up. Now, hold that lift. See if you can straighten the legs. And if you can't, go ahead and bend them. And then release the arms and take the arms up toward the ceiling. Shoulder blades engage, right? I'm squeezing through the shoulder blades even though I'm not pulling the arms back. And then I feel this lift of the chest and a lengthening of the tailbone. It's going to be more subtle here, right? So lift of the chest and lengthening of the tailbone. Good, everybody breathe, take the arms out. Turn the palms down, release those hands to the floor, press those hands into the floor, and lift your left knee toward your chest and push it out. And bring it in, and push it out. Good, one more. Bring it in, push it out. Bring it in and step over your right leg. Lift up torso. All twists start with a lengthening of your spine. Wrap your right arm around and come into just a lovely little twist here. Your right leg is engaged. All my toes pointing up toward the ceiling. There is little tension in my head and my neck. Take a nice deep breath. And release that twist. Come back to center. Listen up. Drop the hands behind you again, so you're leaning back a little bit. I want you to bend your right leg and come into a figure four. So your left ankle comes near the knee, so you're just a seated figure four, rocking side to side. Just giving those hips a little bit of a warm up. And then take the legs to center and see if, one of two things, see if you can bring that heel, that right heel in closer. But more importantly, see if you can sit up and not drop into your lower back. If you're grounding in the low back, hands come behind, right? So simple. We'll take care of our spines before we worry about what our bodies are doing kind of in the pose, if that makes sense. I've long since stopped comparing myself to yoga journals models because they're all beautiful and airbrushed and anyway, right? We have to honor our bodies. How does this feel in your left hip? If it feels yucky, the leg comes out more. If you're rounding, the hands come back down, right? We honor the process and we appreciate what our bodies can do as opposed to what maybe they're not able to do right now. Good, so feel that lovely twist. If you can, hold on to your left leg and straighten your right leg. And watch out for the knee stuff. You know who you are. I know who some of you are. If this configuration hurts the knee, please don't do it. You can come out wider. You can take the foot back down, right? No pain, no pain, no pain. Good. And breathe. And let go of that leg. Straighten it out. Shake it out. Good, and then lean back a little bit. So this time we're going to the right leg. Bring the right leg in or the right knee in and press it out. Bring it in and press it out. And in and press it out. Good, and then this time bring it in, step it over. Check your alignment, left leg nice and grounded. I'm wrapping both arms around that leg to lift up my spine. Feel the sit bones really grounded. And then wrap your left arm around your knee. Start to twist to the right. Your hand comes behind. You're finding your breath. You're keeping length in your spine the whole time. Keep grounding through the left leg. That's going to help you stay upright. Right? As you ground down and lift up. Big deep breath. And then release your pose, take those hands behind just so you have a little bit of leverage and then bend your left leg and come into a nice little figure four right here. And rock side to side. And then see where you can go to lift, stay lifted in the spine as the heel comes up a little closer maybe for you. Hands can stay behind the whole time or they can wrap around your right knee. You'll notice one side tighter than the other. It's lovely being human. Like, how does this happen? Good, so just stretch it out. Often, just as a little trivia, often your dominant side is tighter but stronger. Your less dominant side is more flexible but not as strong. So, there you have it. Good, either stay right here or keep hold of the right leg, straighten the left leg, ground through the left leg as you stay lifted. A variation of pigeon pose. Big deep breath. Good, and release that leg, straighten it out, shake it out everybody. Point flex your feet, roll your shoulders. Almost done here. Go ahead and take the hands down to the floor. You're either on fingertips or down on the palms. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the belly in. Lift your left leg off the floor. Some of you have done this with me before, you know that this starts to hurt. Kind of hurt, good hurt, right? Good hurt, right away. So just feel that, whoo, yeah. Breathe, now see if you can get that lift, right? That strong lift of the chest, the belly squeezes in. And let it go, shake it out. And go to the other side, start nice and tall, lift your right leg, see if you can keep the torso high. Big deep breath. All of a sudden I got that Eye of the Tiger song. Does anybody remember the Rocky movie? You know, so there it is. Breathe, shoulders back, squeeze through that quadricep, that right quadricep that is giving you some grief right now, and lower down. And shake them all out. And then cross the legs again. Find that way you normally sit, and then switch sides so that the other leg is in front. I find this really interesting that this does not feel nearly as normal, which tells me it's a good way to sit every once in a while so that our bodies don't create these habits that may or may not really be as optimal. So there you go. Roll your shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale the arms out to the sides. Internally rotate and externally rotate the arms. Good. Internal rotation. External. Good. Two more. Internal rotation. External rotation. Last one. And breathe. And then curl your fingers, curl your wrists, strong Popeye arms, and squeeze and feel those biceps working. Touch your knuckles to your shoulders. Big deep breath. Take the elbows up to the ceiling. Drop the elbows back out to the side. Extend through your arms. And release the wrists, release the fingers. Turn the palms down and all right, that's enough of that nice little warm up. Let's come on to table pose. Please take the time to cushion your knees if you want to put your blanket on your knees so that you're not feeling irritated. If you've got a couple mats or a rug, that's probably pretty good. And then start in a neutral spine. See if you can find that neutral spine for you. And again, it's kind of interesting. So instead of cat and cow, I just want you to do pelvic tilts and tucks here. So your chest and head are staying same, right? Pretty much the same. You're just moving through the pelvis, tilting and tucking it. The next time it's tucked, I want you to tuck in pretty strong, belly button in, and feel how that kind of compresses the chest. And we're not even doing cow pose or cat pose, right? We're just tucking through the pelvis. And then keep it going. Lift up through the spine. Go into a full cat. Head tuck, tailbone tuck, belly squeezing in. Feel how the shoulders are really rounded forward. Press into your hands. And then release it from the upper body. So take the upper body back to neutral. You're still curled up in the pelvis. And then slowly release the pelvis and go all the way the other way. Big tuck or big tilt of the pelvis. Upper body still neutral. Feel that, right? There's a lot of weight in the lower back, so be mindful here. And then lift the chest. And notice that, at least for me, the more dip in my lower back, actually the harder it is for me to lift my chest. What does that tell me? It tells me that if I'm doing a back bend and I'm dropped in my low back, I'm not sure how much my chest is going to be able to move. So tuck the belly a little bit and then lift the chest. Maybe you'll feel a little bit more freedom here. Good. Tuck the belly a little more to a neutral, as neutral as you can get, low belly, low back, and press through the hands and lift the chest. Just feel that little bit of difference. Squeeze the arms isometrically toward each other. Tuck the belly in. Flip your toes under. Lift your knees and come downward facing down. Good. And from here, bend one knee and then the other. Stretch out the legs. Don't let go of the arms. Don't let go of the shoulders. Squeeze the imaginary beach ball. Right? Press through the finger pads, the knuckles. Good, come all the way to the tippy toes. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor. If you can, if the knees allow, go ahead and sit back and shake out those wrists, give them a little curl. Shake them out. And then come right back to table pose. If table pose is really being cranky on the wrists, try a couple things. Either turn the hands out slightly, or walk the hands forward to decrease the crease in the wrist. Or finally, come on down to elbows, right? Just take a break off the wrist for a while. Press your right foot back. Level out the hips, tuck the belly. Feel as the belly tucks, the chest lifts a little bit. And you'll notice, especially if you're flexible in the low back, that you can drop pretty easily. So belly strong here, lift the leg. And notice how that feels, how that changes all of your alignment. I'm gazing at the top end of my mat. I'm keeping the head pretty neutral. Take the left arm out. Balancing table, working on core strength. You know, almost every yoga pose requires some core strength. So as we strengthen the center of our bodies, we strengthen everything else. Big deep breath, hang in there. Good, lower the hand to the floor, keep the leg, and as you exhale, tuck knee to chest. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, squeeze it in. Go slow, inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze in. Good, last one. Lift and inhale. Exhale, squeeze it in. And lower that knee. Sit back. Shake it out. Roll the wrists. Right? You'll see me sometimes I kind of squeeze at the wrist and you'll feel those little bones kind of realign. All right, back to it. Press into the hands, press back through the left leg. Already before I lift, I'm starting to tuck pelvis just a little bit, squeeze belly a little bit, lift the leg. Try to feel what's happening with the left thigh and see if you can keep it pointing straight down toward the floor so the foot's not rolling out, the hips not lifting. And when you're ready, right arm. Balancing table, second side. This should be getting easier. We've been doing balancing table pretty much every class. If it's really challenging, one hand down, no worries. Belly squeeze, glute squeeze, right? Left glute, working hard. Big deep breath. And lower the hand, keep the leg. Breathe, inhale first. Exhale, squeeze the knee in. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, squeeze it in. Good, one, two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring it in. Last one. Lift, lift, lift. And squeeze it in. But this time, step forward, left leg. Nice low lunge. Take your hands to your knee. Roll your shoulders back. Press into the top of your back foot. Shoulders open, shoulders back. Take the right arm only, lift it up to the ceiling. And come back to that spot again we were talking about. Whereas the arm lifts, what happens to the lower ribs? Can you keep the squeeze of the belly and not fall into your low back? Good, as you exhale, arm down, reach it back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Last one. And exhale, down. Let that hand come to the floor. Lift your right knee. Step back, plank pose. Big deep breath. And then step forward, right foot. Lowering your left knee to the floor. Find your alignment. Take your hands to your knee. Lift up. Find your breath. Press into the top of your back foot. Oh yeah. Take the left arm up. Find that spot. Belly's toned, low belly. Transverse abdominis, way down at the lower base of the belly, wraps around to the hips. Take a deep breath. Good. Inhale right here. Exhale, arm down, chest down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Last one. And exhale down. Let that hand come to the floor, other hand to the floor. Downward facing dog. Big deep breath, spread the fingers, press into the pads of those fingers. Wrap your arms around the beach ball. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor. And just sit back for a moment. If you can, if this does not work for you, please just come into a regular seat. We're not going to be here for too long. Roll your shoulders. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, come on forward and plant the hands. A little weight bearing here. Good. And if you can, sit back. Lift up. Exhale, press forward and down. Now, if that's hurting and it doesn't feel good, I want you to come to knees instead and do it this way, okay? So please take care of yourself. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, press, sit back, watch the knees. Inhale up, exhale, press. Good, last one. Exhale, and press. Good job, everybody. Flip your toes under, downward facing dog. Find that lovely down dog. Come right to plank. Squeeze the belly in, lengthen through your tailbone. Watch that your behind's not looking up to the ceiling. Lift your right leg if you can. If you can't, don't do it. Right? No big deal. Inhale right here. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, press it straight back. Exhale, press it in. Good, one more. And exhale, press it in, squeeze it in. And step it forward. Lower your knee to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. Warming up core, warming up the legs. Finding our breath. Breathe. Take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand to sacrum. Come into a sweet little twist. Just easy. Don't overdo. Maybe look a little more over right shoulder. And then look over left. And over right. And left. And then head neutral. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Lift your left knee. Step back, plank pose. No, we can't do one side only. Squeeze the legs, squeeze the hips. Lift your left leg. I'm not doing down dog, by the way. Right, just plank. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bring it in. And straighten. In, bring it in. Step it through. Lower your knee to the floor. Inhale, reach up. And breathe. Oh, right hand to left knee. Left hand to sacrum. Open up the shoulders. And then a little more gaze over the left shoulder. And a little more gaze over the right. And left. And right. Good. And left. And then neutral head. Inhale up. Exhale down to the floor. Slide your left knee back to meet your right. And come on down, little child's pose. Find your breath here. I'm going to find me a little background music. So just breathe. And then come on up to table pose. Flip your toes under. Lift your knees, down dog. Good, I just want you to play here a little bit. I want you to take your feet to the edges of your mat. And feel that in the rest of your body. How does that make your down dog feel? Remember the hands, remember the shoulders. Bend your knees. And straighten. And bend. And straighten. Good, one more, bend. And straighten. And then look at your hands and walk the hands to center so that the thumbs are touching. Press strongly external rotation with the shoulders. Press into the pads of the fingers, still down dog, wide legs. Big deep breath. How does that feel as we work on shoulder strength in your arms? Good. Open the hands. Walk the feet back to neutral. And walk those hands all the way back to your feet until you're in a forward fold. If your hands don't easily touch the floor because your hamstrings are not happy, take your hands to your shins. Keep the knees soft. Head down to the floor, just let it hang. And then bend your knees, take your hands to your knees, and come on up to standing. Ooh, yeah. Good. If you have a yoga block, go ahead and grab it. We're going to play with this concept of chest and tailbone, chest and tailbone a little bit, and you'll see why it matters a little bit later. So take the block between your thighs. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Just engage the legs, ground the feet, feel your feet, all four corners of your feet solidly on the floor. And then take your hands to your hips and just bend the knees and bring your behind back so that your chest is pretty level, pretty parallel with the floor. And feel what that feels like if you don't tone in the belly, right? I'm just kind of hanging out there, right? Belly's relaxed, nothing much happening. And then I'm going to tone the belly in without doing anything else. And as soon as I tone the belly in, my lower back gets longer. From here, I want you to lift the chest. My knees are bent, by the way. I'll turn sideways, maybe you can see. Knees are bent. So belly tones in and then the chest lifts. Belly tones in again, like I'm going to go right into cat pose, and the chest lifts. Good, one more time. Round the back, low back, lift the chest. And look where you might be at this point in a relative chair pose, right? I've got a soft curve of the low back, but nothing happening. I've got a nice lifted chest. I can release those hands from my hips and maybe take the arms out. So what are we doing with this block of ours, right? I'm gonna get a decent squeeze, 20% maybe, not too tight, and you can play, squeeze it hard. What's that feel like? Yuck, right? Little squeeze, little energy there. And then notice, from here, take your thumbs to the hip creases. Your fingers wrap around your hips. And then pull those thumbs back into the hips as I lengthen the torso. As I drop down, forward fold, let the hands come to the floor or to your shins. Big deep breath. Good, and then bend your knees. Hands to knees. Lift the chest a little so it's parallel and level. Elbows are pressing back toward your hips. Go into a low back cat pose, so just round it up. And then I'm going to lift the chest. Good, round and lift the chest. Round, tinier, lift the chest. How's that feel? right? Now I can even squat deeper if I want to. Arms reaching up, chair pose again, because this spine feels neutral. If it doesn't, straighten the arms more and see if you can, or straighten the legs more, and see if you can find chair with a neutral spine. Where's the weight on your feet? Lift your toes, everybody. Find the four corners of your feet, all working together. Stand all the way up, and exhale. Good, remove that block from your legs, and shake it out. Good, feet are parallel. I want you to pretend you have a block there. And feel this. So now we're standing. Shoulders are back, arms straight up. Oh, how am I going to get to chair pose from here? Right, normally we'll just bend the knees and dump right into our lower backs. I don't want to do that, right? So I'm going to start to bend the knees. I'm just going to give them some room to move, give that pelvis some room to move, and maybe tilt the top a little and see where the strain might be. Find the middle space. And then as I sit down in the feet, what's giving up? What am I losing? Am I dumping in my lower back, or am I collapsing the chest? Can I lengthen both? One away from the other. Breathe. Right? Are the knees doing funky things? Sit way back as if it were a chair right behind you that you're going to sit on. And reach the arms. Take the arms to cactus. How does that feel? Take your hands to your hips. Draw the elbows back. How does that feel? Or can all you feel are those lovely legs giving you some like, holy moly, is she ever going to come out? Good, raise the arms, hang on, hang on. Drop the chest, reach the arms back. Inhale, up. Can you stay neutral in your spine? Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, down. Woo! And stand all the way up. And exhale. And roll your shoulders. Good, and then come right to the front of your mat. Find your mat, good solid mountain pose, everybody. Just breathe. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend both knees. Step back, right leg. Hold right here for a moment. And all I want you to do, by the way, if you have two blocks and you want to put your hands on blocks, go ahead and do that, just not at the highest setting. From here, all I want you to do is push off, step forward, push off, step back. Right leg only, 3 times. Forward, back, forward, and back. And then forward hold, hands to knees, stand all the way up, inhale. Exhale all the way down. Soft knees, both knees. Good, lift that left heel, step back, step forward, and back. Where's it going? And forward. Last one, step back, and step forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Roll your shoulders back. And then just shake it out. So why is that important? Why are we playing here as we work with leg strength, warrior 1, warrior 3? We're going to do one more thing. And here's the blocks, by the way. If you want to do what we just did, right? We're going to start with right leg here. If you want to take it up a notch, your hands are coming to your hips. Bend your knees. Think about it. Lift your right heel. Step back. And step forward. Good. Step back. Watch your balance. And forward. One more. Step back. And forward. Right? Not so bad. And let's go to the other side. Bend at the hips and the knees. Give yourself something to move from. If I'm stiff, right? Where am I gonna go? All right, so lift the left heel, step back with the left foot, and step forward. Good, and back, and forward. Last one. Step back, and step forward. Good. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Soften both knees, step back, right leg. Knee up or knee down. Take your hands to your left knee. Tuck your pelvis. Lift your chest. Inhale the arms up, high lunge or low lunge. Totally up to you. Notice if your front toes are scrunching or holding your mat. Breathe. Lengthen the torso forward. Reach the arms back. Inhale it up. Exhale forward and down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale forward. Arms back. Hands to the floor. Step back. Downward facing dog. Are we getting warmed up, everybody? Hope so. Left or right leg forward. Find your lunge, knee up or down, right? Hands to knee. Tuck the belly, lift your chest. Inhale the arms up. Maybe find a little smile in there. Big deep breath. And when you're ready, 4-3, torso forward, arms down and back. Inhale it up. Exhale it down and back. Good, last one. And down and back. Oh. Hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Knees to the floor. And child's pose. Good, reach those hands forward. Come to table pose. Engage your belly. Lift your knees, downward facing dog. Purposefully walk those hands back. Externally rotate the shoulders. Bend your knees. Hands to knees. Come all the way up. And roll your shoulders, everybody. Shake out those wrists. Shake out the legs. And let's start left leg forward, right foot back. Now, it's an interesting thing, and I'm facing forward and may end up turning sideways. So warrior one stance. With my left leg forward, what's going on with the left hip here, right? The tendency is for the hip to roll forward, the knee to roll forward and in. We don't want that. We want that hip to be kind of straight back. It's a slight external rotation of the thigh, the center of the foot, the center of the knee, center of the hip bone. The hips are relatively squared. If you have a teacher that wants this to be square and your body doesn't do it, shoo them away. Right? Trust your body here. And then pay attention to what's going on with the back leg. Internal rotation. The thigh is pointing relatively forward, but the back foot is turned just to the side. If you turn that foot mostly to the side, what happens to the hip? It'll open up more. Then you can't square the hips, right? That's warrior two. Bring the foot forward and find that. And then try to pay attention to the back foot. Lift the back inner arch. These are those kind of little details that as we go, warrior one, right? We're more informed about what's actually going on in the body. Back hip is squeezing, front hip is rolling back, and then there goes the belly. So take both hands to your hips and lean forward into the front leg. Keep grounding through the back leg. Keep lifting the back arch. Keep rolling the left hip back. There you go. And then do what we've been doing so far all through class. I want you to tuck the belly, almost that you're tucking the whole pelvis into a cat pose. And then lift the chest a little. How's that starting to feel? There should be ease in your back. Tuck it again. Squeeze hard through the belly button and lift the chest. Good. One more time. Tuck and lift. And all of a sudden, this torso is up. The arms come up. I feel nothing uncomfortable in my lower back. My back leg is engaged. My front leg is bent. Maybe you interlace the hands and look up. Maybe not, right? What feels good. If you look up and you drop to your low back, think about what needs to happen here to lengthen. That's it. Big deep breath. How's that front leg feeling? Can you put a little more weight in the back leg? Release the hands if they're interlaced. Exhale the hands down. Take your hands to your hips and step forward as my head goes off the screen. And breathe. From here, right leg stays forward, left foot steps back. And take the time in your body to figure out, where do I need to be in my stance? Where do I need to be in the back foot? Is that foot turned in that direction hard for the ankle? Can I stay pressed into the outer edge of the foot? Your front leg is bent 90 degrees-ish, right? Hips are relatively forward, shoulders are forward, belly is toned, hands to hips, lean forward. As soon as you lean forward, you might feel the right hip rolling forward, so bring it back in place. Unscrunch your front toes, find your breath, and then tuck the belly in. And then lift the chest a little. And tuck the belly in and lift the chest. Yeah, right? And then tuck again and lift again. And feel all this freedom in your lower back. Your hips are nice and level, even the arms come up. We find this strong warrior one pose. Back glute, back leg. I'm pressing strong into the back leg so that the front leg isn't taking all the weight. Big deep breath, maybe interlace hands, maybe not. Big deep breath. You got this. Separate the hands, release those hands to your hips, and step forward. Whew. Good, and just shake it out. Take the top of one foot and press the top of the foot into the mat. And release, go to the other side. And release. All right. So you're back at the front of your mat. In fact, I'll come to this side so I don't do the same side twice in a row. So you're back in a mountain pose, right? What does that even mean for your body? Right? As we lift out of the ground, shoulders back, belly toned, tailbone long. We find that. And then bend the knees. Try to bring those hips back a little bit. Lift your right foot and step it back to warrior one stance. How did that feel to you as you did that, right? Did it feel like you had some control? And then adjust the back leg. It might go longer, it might go shorter. My warrior one stance is way shorter than my warrior two stance, just so you know. And then instead of leaning forward and doing all that, I'm just gonna lengthen. I'm gonna zip up the pair of jeans, right? That I refuse to give up. So squeeze in from pubic bone to belly button. But don't flatten the lower back. You want the curve. You don't want excess, if that makes sense. So you're here, belly squeezes in, tailbone is long, the arms reach up. I'm pressing strongly into my back leg. Just notice. And then take your hands to your hips. Pivot your back foot so that you're in a lunge. Notice that. Lean the torso forward, push off to step forward. Awesome, right? Who knew? All right, bend the knees, lift your left heel, step it back to your warrior one stance. By the way, I didn't say this earlier, but if your warrior one is feeling a little unbalanced, take this pose wider on your mat. Just move your front foot or your back foot to the side a little bit. Good, hips forward, front knee bent, belly toned, chest lift, arms just float up from here. Right, if your chest is down, your arms can't go anywhere, right? So chest is lifted, but low back is so long and sweet and comfortable. I'm reaching into the back edge of my foot, my back foot. Breathe. You got it. Hands come to hips, pivot on your back ankle, your back foot. Find that, and then step forward. Good, shake it out. Piece of cake, right? So when you start to get comfortable with this kind of stepping forward, stepping back, getting this front leg weighted, right? It gets so much easier to shift and move. All right, you're back to the front. I want you to step back, right leg, warrior one stance. Your hands are at your hips. I want you to take those thumbs to the hip creases, your fingers wrapped around the outside hips, and then draw the left hip back and pivot on your right foot. Just feel that. Chest starts to move forward, belly is toned. I want to squeeze the legs toward each other a little bit, as if I had a block there. And then release your thumbs and just take your hands to your hips and give the hips a little squeeze, like it's almost like you're holding them a little bit stubborn. And from this back foot, I want you to lift up, woo, and see if you can step back. Just a little lift and a step back. We're checking things out. Where's the left leg today? And back, one more. Lift and step back and hold. Now I want to see if I can lift and hold. And every day is different. But I want to square, so warrior three, I want to square my chest, relatively speaking, to the front. It's a closed hip pose. It's the same hip alignment. Leg alignment is warrior one. So I'm going to come up on the tippy toes of my back foot. And I'm going to lean my chest forward and roll the left hip back. And then I'm going to think about it. Do I want to keep hands on hips? Or do I want to reach forward harder, right? And see if I can lift off, straighten the front leg. Woo! And come into warrior three. Breathe. Wow! That's it. Find your pose. Breathe. Goodness gracious. Hands to hips and down. And push off. Come on forward. It's funny. You know, I was doing this earlier and hanging on to warrior three, no problem. And now with the camera on and you all here, I'm falling out and my little poor ego is going, oh my God. So silly, right? All right, here we are. Back to mountain pose, back to catching our breath. Lift the left heel and stepping back. If there is nothing else I teach you about yoga, it is to maintain one, your humanness, and two, your humility, because every day is different. So I'm in warrior one stance. My hands are to my hips. My hips are relatively squared. Shoulders are pretty squared. Zipping up the pants, right? Zipping up the belly, finding that center line all the way to the crown of the head. Good, lean forward, check the right hip, make sure it's rolled back and in alignment where it should be. Come to the tippy toes of your left foot. Think about it. Woo! Legs are getting tired. I can feel this in my right. And then lift up and see if you can set it back down. This is where we start, right? And down. Woo! Good, one more lift. And down. And then pivot on that back foot. Raise the arms. By the way, arms back and behind, more airplane pose. Little easier, little more balancey. Squeeze your back glute, lift up, and see if you can lift and hold warrior three. Good, reach the arms back, airplane, right? Find the pose, woo-hoo! And step back, and then step forward, and shake it out. Ay, ay, ay. You got it. Shake it out. We have to go again, you know that, right? I'm gonna quit talking. We're gonna get into the pose. We're gonna see where we go. So, right foot forward, left foot back. Find yourself in a high, shorter lunge. Keep your hands at your hips, half step forward. Reach with the arms, lift the leg. Hands to hips, drop the leg. Step forward. Switch sides. Shorter stance, high lunge, belly tone, arms reach forward. Here we go, everybody. Lift the leg. And release. And step forward. And shake it out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward. Oh. Separate the feet just a little more than your normal. Nice, easy forward fold. Keep the knees soft. Breathe. And then plant the hands and widen the feet. So you're in a nice wide leg forward fold. Soften the arms toward the floor. And press it up. Heel toe those feet back towards center. Bend your knees, hands to knees. Come on up. How y'all doing out there? Good. All right, so one more big challenge, right? Take it at any level that you want to take it. So don't worry about doing everything, all of it. Just do what you can do. So we're going to start in mountain pose. Hands are to our hips. I'm going to give you a couple of options. So either from here, I want you to shift into your right foot and lift your left knee toward your chest. And just see what's happening balance-wise here. Maybe you're going to stay right here. In fact, I can drop the knee so I don't keep talking and have you standing that long. So one, either stay with that knee lifted, nothing else. You can take the arms up. Or you can go further. So let's do it again. Shift into your right foot. Lift your left knee. Squeeze your belly. Push that leg straight back. Find warrior three or airplane. Breathe. Hands to hips. Bend your front leg. Drop your back leg. Warrior one. Big deep breath. Here's the fun part. Reverse, chest forward, warrior three or airplane, bend the knee up to your chest and down. Now back up, right? The legs know, the body knows exactly what it needs to do. All right, so let's go to the other side. When you're ready, shift into your left foot. Hands are to your hips. Raise your right knee. Bring that leg back, stay tight. Stretch it out, warrior three. Or airplane. Woo, woo, woo. Breathe. Hands to hips, bend your front knee. Warrior one. Warrior one should feel like magic by now. And when you're ready, reverse. Warrior three. Hands to hips, knee to chest. Lower it down. Find mountain pose. And on your next exhale, come on down, hinge, breathe, forward fold. From forward fold to downward facing dog. Just breathe. If you would prefer child's pose here, just let the knees come to the floor and go to child's pose. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then tippy toes, knees down, child's pose for everybody. Release your child's pose and come to a seat. And once you're on your sit bones, let's take the feet wide. I think we'll go in that direction. So take the feet wide and windshield wiper your knees. Got it? Must be a little cloudy out. It's a little dark in the studio this morning. The next time your knees are to the right, let them go. Reshift your right hand and shift your left leg back so that ideally both knees are on the floor. And if you're not, grab your blanket or your block or your pillow, something, and just set it under your back, your left knee. Take your left arm straight out from the shoulder. This one I'm leaning on the right hand, but I'm not dumping in, right? I'm keeping this nice and tall. All right, so take the left hand, reach it across, and back. Good, and across, stretch it out. You're stretching side body, and back. And again, reach, and back. Last one, reach, and bring it back, elbow back, good. One, you're gonna just stay right here, extending through that arm, or bring the left arm overhead, stay here, or finally press up to the knees, lift the hips, and stretch it out. Nothing should hurt here, not your knees, not your right shoulder. Breathe, stretch. And lower the hips, lower the arms. Bring the knees back to center, take them wide, and then release them to the left and reshift the knees so that it makes sense for your hips. If your right hip in this case, both knees pointing left, my right hip is not touching the ground all the way, right? but it feels sturdy and steady. It doesn't feel like I'm hanging in that hip. So your left arm goes back, your right arm goes out to the side, and then just start to stretch it. Reach it forward and gently pull it back. Reach it forward, pull it back. Good, couple more. Reach and pull and reach and pull it back straight in the right arm and take it overhead. Watch the left shoulder, don't let it roll forward. And then either stay here or lift the hips. Stretch it out. Big deep breath. And lower the hips. Release the legs. Take your feet to the front or back of your mat. Roll your shoulders back. Take the arms out. Roll the shoulders into their sockets. Come on down, everybody. All the way down to the floor. Bring your knees to your chest. And then feet to the floor. Your feet are hips width apart. Your shoulders are down on the floor. Your fingers are pointing up. I want you to lift your hips just a few inches off the floor. And then, weirdly, I want you to lengthen your tailbone by slightly tucking your pelvis and squeezing your belly in. And from here, I want you to lift your chest. And then tuck slightly as you lift, and lift the chest. Another slight tuck of the pelvis as you lift higher, as the chest goes higher. If you feel a pinch in your lower back, I want you to lower down. Play with where that pelvis should be for you in bridge pose. Right? Is it more of a tuck for you? Is it more of a tilt for you? What feels good and allows this chest to lift? From here, let the hands go. Turn the palms up. Externally rotate the arms, even though they're on the floor. Back of the head is long. I'm pressing into my feet. Finding this gorgeous little bridge pose that feels good in my body, that isn't stressing anything. Big deep breath. One more. And then slowly lower down, let the hips land first, so that you have an arch in the back. Release the shoulders if they are tucked, and then bring your knees to your chest. Hold on to your left knee. I'm actually interlacing my fingers around the front of my left knee, and then I'm going to push my left knee as far away from me as my arms will allow. From here, straighten your right leg and let it hover off the floor just a couple of inches. So my arms are outstretched, my back is for the most part on the floor. Reaching through my right leg, pushing through my left knee. And one, I want you to either stay here, or two, I want you to see if you can push your left foot toward the floor, which lifts your upper body off the floor. Chin stays slightly tucked. And exhale, lower down. Inhale here. Push your knee away. Push your foot toward the floor. Round up a little bit of core. And lower, inhale. Last one, push. Try to push that foot to the floor. Here's where it gets tricky. See if you can keep it. Release the arms. Ow! There you go. Watch it, watch it, watch it. And put the hands back and lower down. Knees to chest. Switch hands, interlace those hands. Stretch the right knee away from you so the arms are straight. Stretch the left leg straight out toward the front of your mat, shoulders are down. Pause here. You can stay right here if you want. Nice little reset for the hips. Or if you're ready, inhale first. Exhale, lift up your body as you try to touch that foot to the floor. It's not going there, but try. And inhale, release. Exhale, push it down to the floor. And release. Last one, push, hold, notice. Either stay here or release the hands and see if you can keep the pose. Oh, and put those hands back and lower to the floor. Both knees to just turn your head side to side. And then head neutral, feet to the floor, right leg up to the sky, externally rotate. Bring that ankle to your left knee and come to figure four. And just breathe. Maybe playing with the idea of a small space behind the low back. Good, either stay right here and take one hand to your foot, one hand to your knee, your right foot, right knee. Hold those babies in place and straighten your left leg. You did this seated. Breathe. You shouldn't be pulling hard on the right leg. You're just seeing if you can keep it in place. Squeeze the lower belly. And then see if you can keep it in place as you release the hands. Bend your left knee, bring it back to your right ankle. Lower that foot to the floor, release your figure four. Take the left leg up to the sky, externally rotated. Come to figure four on this side, upper body comfortable. Bring your knees toward your chest. Maybe a tiny space behind the low back, low belly is toned. Upper body soft. And then either stay right here or hold on to your left foot with your hand, your other hand to your knee, straight in your right leg. Lots of energy here. And then either stay here or release the hands and see if you can keep the leg. And bend your right knee, bring it back to the left ankle. Lower that foot to the floor. Release your pose, both knees to chest. Hold your right knee, stretch your left leg really, really, really long. Take it all the way to the floor. And then bring your left knee to your chest, stretch your right leg super long. Bring it to the floor. And then take both legs to the floor. Take them nice and wide on your mat. Let's find Shavasana. And just notice how you feel, how your back body feels, how your head, your neck, your mind, your heart feels. Start to surrender. Start to let go here. Be willing. Give it a few more moments of breath. calmness and awareness. Feel your body softening and calming down, coming back to equilibrium. Feel your breath. Feel the temperature of your breath as it comes in through your nose, as it makes its way through your whole entire body, all the way down to your cells. Feel the temperature as it releases. Bring your awareness back